Patty Christensen, hand CRPS lady. It's late and the lighting seems weird. Hopefully, it doesn't look as bad when I post it. Anyway, I have gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So, you check the TikToks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, whatever. And there was some discussion about the book of Enoch, however you like to pronounce it. And I was like, oh, I don't remember reading that. And I've kind of read, Old Testament / Torah, New Testament. I've read them all. I don't remember that one. And it's because it's not in the main group. So, and Enoch is Noah of Noah's Ark's granddaddy. And so I was like, oh, okay, let me check it out. And so Audible it didn't cost money. It must be in the Plus catalog. The Enoch books, technically there's 3. And the guy did a little bit of background kind of explaining what's going on, right? What have you. But anyway, I have this on my other phone so that I can look through. So it begins with the Book of Watchers. And this is what got me interested, because I was like, all right, if you've ever read the Bible, the Old Testament, the Torah, whatever you want to call it, some pretty crazy stuff in there. So what was so crazy in this that they didn't want to include it? I don't know, right? So I'm checking it out. And so it starts with what's called the Watchers. Now, the Watchers are the celestial beings that are kind of looking over, do you want to call it evolution? I don't know. They're looking over humanity coming into being and figuring stuff out. But they're not supposed to be involved. They're only supposed to watch. So I affectionately refer to them as the aliens. Well, so the aliens are looking down, watching, and tale as old as time, they get a little hot on the ladies. They come down and do some naughty naughties, and the ladies get pregnant, but the kids that come out aren't right. They're giants and they're mean, and anyway, drama. That's basically what ends up leading to the flood. Okay. But so now the Noah's Ark flood makes a little more sense, right? And so then it had something called the Book of Parables, and there he's telling, stories of visions, I guess you'd call it, dreams, just kind of the good versus evil, all that kind of stuff. Then they have the Book of Luminaries, and I'm hoping I'm getting these right because I've just been on a long walk listening to it all. But this I found very, very fascinating because, at first I was like, I don't know what the heck he's talking about, because he's talking about how they think that the sun and the moon travel around the earth, not the other way around, because, that was the thinking back then. But he's talking about them coming up in certain gates and going down in certain gates. And I was like, I don't understand. But then he's explaining you're in gate 1 for a certain amount of time, like 30 days, 90 days, whatever. And he talks about the days getting shorter and longer. And so I'm like, I know what he's talking about, is how certain times of the year the sun is further south. I'm in northern hemisphere. The sun is further south. Other times it's straight up. Days are longer. And I don't know what latitude this is from, but it had it down to like the minutes of how much daylight you gain and lose in the different parts of the year. So I was like, well, that's actually kind of impressive for back then. And then he goes into a long thing about the moon. And I'll admit, the lunar thing makes no sense to me. Sometimes it's overhead, sometimes it's over here. I understand, the phases of the moon, C for closing, the full moon, and then also where it plays out. And he got into a lot of detail on that. Frankly, he lost me. What can I say? I'm in St. George. It's hot and I'm walking and I got overheated. But anyway, so I was like, well, that's really cool. And then he starts in this other Book of Dreams, is what he called it. Because this guy, he's like, I think he eats too much chocolate at night, but he's got some crazy dreams going on. But he starts describing these weird dreams, and you have to realize, assuming this was a real guy back in whenever, they only understood certain things: trees, water, animals, earth, right? He's going on trying to describe something, and and it takes me a while to realize he's talking about a volcano going off. But how do you describe that if you've never seen anything like it before? So that was kind of cool. And then he's describing what I'll call the standard Judeo-Christian history, you know, Adam and Eve and on to all the different people, the flood, but he describes it with animals. So it was kind of confusing. It took me a while to realize what he was talking about, because he was talking about white bulls and red bulls and black bulls, and and then he's all of a sudden giraffes are coming in and elephants, and I don't know what he's describing, but then I realized what he's talking about are, for lack of a better term, countries, because he starts talking about the a specific 12 white sheep, which I realized he means the 12 tribes of Israel. And he's talking about something that I realize is, you know, Moses getting the commandments. And then he talks about something that I realize is the plagues. And then was Moses the one that went through the water? You know, the water opens up and they go through and then it closes and drowns people. It had all that in there. And then it starts talking about stuff that I don't know. I mean, I was getting serious Nostradamus vibes about it. Talking about, he called them the different birds, which to me sounded like air warfare, and the different animals that to me were tanks, World War II action. I don't know.